No, if I cannot go, then I will be sad, right? I don't want to do that.
Oh, that's true. So is your family all in Turkey too?
Yeah, I have no relatives here. Just being by myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mehmet Kara. I'm with the Dallas Islamic Center. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for welcoming us here for this lovely iftar dinner, and I hope you like the food that we have prepared. I'm going to try to be the MC, just briefly come up here during times in between the speakers. I'm not going to keep you any longer. The first speaker of the night is Pastor Clayton, and he's going to give us a speech.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome to our guests who are with us tonight. We thank you so much for being here and for Nihat for your encouragement and this time of fellowship together with our Muslim brothers and sisters. We are truly blessed tonight by your presence here at First United Methodist Church, Richardson. When our speaker said that Clayton will give a brief talk, some of the members of my church were laughing. I know, because I've been known to get carried away and go on for too long. But I do want to welcome you, and I serve on a national committee of the United Methodist Church called the General Commission on Christian Unity and Interreligious Concerns. And we'll be meeting in New York City next week with that committee. And that committee focuses the United Methodist Church on our interreligious relationships with brothers and sisters from different faiths around the world. And it's very important. We believe that it's very important that we build bridges of understanding. There's so much hatred in the world, and there's so many walls that divide us. And we believe it's more important for us to get to know each other and to knock down those walls and turn those walls into bridges of understanding and compassion. And there's just something about it when people break bread together at an occasion like this, that we learn more about each other culturally and spiritually, and it helps us to take away the fear and ignorance that often leads to hatred and violence. This is a very important evening for our church, and I want to thank our members who have come to be with us, but also our brothers and sisters from the Dallas Islamic Association. This is a blessing. I want to tell you just a little bit about the United Methodist branch of Christianity. Of course, as Christians, we believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah, the Son of God, that He was born and lived and taught and healed and had a life of ministry that we read about in our scriptures, the Old and New Testaments, and particularly in the New Testament we read about the life of Jesus. And we believe He was crucified, died, was buried, and on the third day was raised from the dead. The disciples, his disciples, gave testimony to that. We're heirs of that testimony and heirs of that experience. That is in a nutshell our faith. We, as United Methodist Christians, we come out of a branch of Christianity. A man named John Wesley, who was an Anglican Church of England priest, who was upset that the church was not allowing everyone access to the good news of God's love for all people. And so he went out to the fields and preached and told people about God's love, and had a concern for the poor that was different than the church of his day. The church gave lip service, but not real action in terms of its concern for the poor and those who were in poverty. So we, as Methodists, follow that heritage, that we have, first of all, a warm heart, that our hearts are warmed by our relationship with God. We believe that it's very important for people to have a relationship with God, and it's in and through that relationship with God and through sacrifice of His Son, Jesus Christ, that we find salvation. That's not something that we can earn by our good works. It's something that is God's gift to us, and we receive that by faith. It's God's grace that offers this gift. By our faith, we receive that gift. And then in response to that gift, we seek to live a life of service and joy. We as United Methodist see our faith as a living response to God's blessings, God's goodness. And so our lives become that response. We don't do good works in order to gain God's approval. We do good works in response to what God has done for us in Jesus Christ. And so we, as Methodists, we've been called do-gooders. We do a lot of good. We try to do a lot of good in our communities. We try to feed the poor. We try to clothe the naked. We try to go to prisons and minister to prisoners. We try to strive to give back what we have received so freely. This is a very important part of our faith. That warm-hearted response to God's grace, and then our good works as part of that response. Another thing we like to do as Methodists is eat. We like to have gatherings where we have food, and we love. There's something about when people gather around the table and we celebrate life that opens us up to one another. So Methodists love to eat. Methodists love to sing. We are a singing people. So we sing about our faith. In our corporate worship experiences on Sunday morning, we have corporate singing where the whole congregation sings our praise to God, and we do so. We sing with to make a joyful noise to the Lord. It's not always a pretty noise, but it seeks to be a joyful noise. We seek to respond joyfully through our songs, and so we praise God through our songs. We seek to be people of open hearts and open minds. We don't claim that our way is the only way. We believe very firmly that Jesus Christ is the way, but we are also open-minded in trying to understand other Christian denominations that are different than us. You will find that there are many different Christian denominations. As I've learned more about Islam, that there are different branches of Islam. We have many different branches of Christianity. We seek to be open-minded and open-hearted toward other people. That means that we try to live a life of tolerance, that we may find ourselves in disagreement with brothers and sisters, but we seek to find tolerance in terms of our understanding. We stand where we stand, you stand where we stand, you stand, and yet we are still brothers and sisters. And so we seek to look at life that way, and I think that's one of the blessings of one of the reasons I am a United Methodist Christian is because of that kind of spirit that looks at the world differently. And I think you'll find that Methodist people are very open to interfaith dialogue, and so we welcome occasions like this. I've probably gone on too long, but I just wanted to again say how grateful I am for this opportunity to share with you and to be a part of this dinner. It's a very impressive evening that we can come together in spite of differences and yet find ourselves sitting around common tables, sharing fellowships, sharing about our families, and realizing that we have